like really aware of the problem, and not just here in the United States but everywhere. By showing like the food security, it like gives a more like definite, this is how it is in this country, so you can like better understand their situation and possibly like what you could do to help.
The website's very interactive and it made it interesting to learn.
Congressman Jim McGovern from Massachusetts 2nd District, thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
First off, can you tell us a little bit about your district and why agriculture is important to it?
Well, I have a district that's urban and rural, and agriculture is important for a couple of reasons. One, in my urban areas, the food and nutrition programs are very, very important to a lot of the people I represent. They are in the rural area as well. I have a lot of small and medium-sized family farms. We have a growing agricultural industry, and with fresh fruits and vegetables and dairy, and I got to comment a little bit of everything. From farms to nutrition, agriculture is important.
Now, during Farm Bill debate, you spoke frequently and passionately for a strong nutrition program. Were you happy with the final nutrition title that came out of the Farm Bill ultimately signed by the President?
No, I wasn't, because it was a cut, and my line during the entire debate was that I would not support a farm bill that increased hunger in America, and this bill did, unfortunately, because that $8 billion cut came in the aftermath of us not extending the stimulus monies for the SNAP program, and so everybody already got a cut, and then this was another cut on top of it, and my fear was it wouldn't be the last attempt to go after SNAP. And as I'm reading in the press in recent weeks, the new incoming chair of the Agriculture Committee intends to go back after the program. And I think it's just the wrong thing to do. I mean, we've got 50 million people in this country who are hungry. We've got a lot of people who work but earn too little, that they need to still rely on SNAP. We've got veterans and members of our armed forces who rely on SNAP. The idea that we would somehow make it more difficult for them and their families to get food, I think, is unconscionable. So, yeah, I mean, my line is, no more cuts in food and nutrition programs.
Now, critics of the program say it can lead to a little too much reliability on government assistance and things of that nature. So where is a happy medium in the program between reliability on the system but still providing adequate nutrition assistance? Well,
the narrative that my Republican friends have kind of unveiled is fiction. I mean, the reality is that this is one of the most efficiently run programs in the federal government. Number two, the majority of people on SNAP are senior citizens, children, and those who are disabled. Of those who are able to work, a majority of the people on SNAP work. But they earn so little in their paycheck that they still need to rely on this program. Now, I'm all for helping people transition off of public assistance. But by making it more difficult for people who are working to be able to put food on their table is not the way to do that. We got to have a more holistic discussion, and I've asked the White House to do a White House conference on food, nutrition, and hunger to kind of come up with a roadmap on how do we solve this problem. And I think it is a solvable problem. As it stands right now, you get people who, when they start to work and earn a little bit of money, their benefits get cut pretty dramatically, so they hit this cliff. And so sometimes they're in worse shape when they're working than they were when they weren't working. So we need to address that so-called cliff. But we shouldn't be looking for happy mediums or splitting the difference. What we should be doing is making sure that we fulfill a need. And food is something that everybody needs. Food ought to be a right for everybody in this country. We're the richest country in the history of the world, and we've got hungry people. We should all be ashamed of that. And so I'm going to fight hard against any additional cuts, and I'm going to try to get the White House to take a bigger leadership role in helping, kind of establish a more holistic policy and how we can solve this problem.
Now, looking at the larger picture, what do you see as priorities for the House Agriculture Committee within the next Congress, outside of nutrition?
Well, I mean, the Farm Bill has just been, reauthorized, so I'm not quite sure what Chairman Conway's priorities are going to be. I worry that he said he was going to go back after the SNAP program, so I'm worried that that may be one of his priorities, to further cut this program that has already been cut too much. You know, I'm looking forward to trying to work with him and to trying to find some common ground. You know, I've got some, as I said, some small and medium-sized farmers in my district, you know, that you know, need support and need attention, and you know, maybe we could find some common ground there. But he's in for a battle if he's going to go after these nutrition programs. I think it's just unconscionable that you know, we're going to try to balance the budget once again on the backs of poor people.
So are you saying that you hope to remain on the House Ag Committee?
Yeah, my intention is to stay on the House Ag Committee, and I have no reason to believe I won't be coming back on the House Ag Committee, but I think there's a lot I can contribute, and I've enjoyed my time on the committee. I haven't agreed with everything that's been done there. It's been a positive experience, and I think I've helped some of my constituents, so I want to stay there.
Now, shifting gears to you individually, you spent quite a bit of time as a Hill staffer before being elected to Congress in 1996. So when you were ultimately elected, was it old hat? Was it a different view of the same process, or what was that like?
Well, I thought having the experience of working up here was helpful, because I kind of knew how the place worked. You know, I knew the difference between an authorization and an appropriation. I knew what committees were responsible, what issues the various committees were responsible for. But I think what you really can't be prepared for is kind of the life of being a member of Congress. You know, I was a staffer. I used to put my boss on a plane on the weekends, and I'd go, you know, to a movie, or go for a long weekend somewhere, or just relax. You know, when you get elected, you fly home on a weekend, and you're working all weekend. And then you fly back here, and you're working all week. So this job is kind of all-consuming, and unless you kind of do it, you really can't quite appreciate how all-consuming it really is.
Now, do you see potential moving forward in some of the SNAP pilot programs that were developed in the new Farm Bill?
Well, look, potentially. You know, look, I want to work with, you know, what we have. I want to make the program even better. Like I said, it's one of the most efficiently run programs in the federal government. I wish the Department of Defense had the error rate that the SNAP program does. Would be saving countless billions, or if not trillions of dollars in overpayments and wasted programs. But the SNAP program is very efficiently run. What I'm interested in is a discussion toward how do we not only provide food for people who need it in very difficult times, but how do we help transition people to a situation where they don't need to rely on it as much? You know, and it may mean some rethinking of how long the benefit stays with people. You know, for example, if you are working, you shouldn't be in a situation where you're hungry again. You know, you ought to be in a situation, you know, where things are getting better, and maybe we need to keep the benefit with people a little bit longer until they kind of get to the point where they can kind of be self-sustaining. But I think we ought to, you know, I think that's the kind of discussion we ought to have. The program in and of itself works; it's good, and a very, very small error and fraud rate. But SNAP is not the answer to hunger. It's one of the tools in fighting hunger, but it's not the only solution. There are multiple things we need to do, and some of the things, quite frankly, fall under the jurisdiction of other committees. But we ought to be having this bigger discussion so we can kind of put this puzzle together that will ultimately result in a roadmap to help people get out of poverty. I mean, that's really what the goal is. But one of the biggest problems right now for people who are on SNAP is that, you know, the work that many of the people are employed in doing right now doesn't pay enough. So there's a problem with what people earn or what they don't earn, and so I think we need to have that discussion as well. If you want to get people off SNAP, you got to get this economy back, you know, in full steam. You got to raise the minimum wage so the work does pay. The people who work don't live in poverty. You have to do a few other things as well. But let's figure out how we end hunger.
And Congressman, just to wrap up here, can you tell us a little bit about yourself individually and what it was that really made you want to take that jump from staffer to congressman?
Oh God, I don't. You know, I mean, I woke up one day and thought I could do a better job than the guy who had my seat, and I thought that I had the experience and the background to be effective, and I think public service is an honorable and noble profession. I'd be lying if I told you the people urged me to run, or there was a draft from McGovern movement out there. There wasn't. You know, I just decided to do it, and lightning struck, and I won, and you know, I've been here since my election in 1996, and it's been a great privilege, and I enjoy the job, and you know, I like the people I work with, and I want to continue for a little while longer.
Congressman Jim McGovern from Massachusetts 2nd District, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.